tune you're about to hear is true. Any similarity to persons living or in politics is purely intentional. The facts are about to come out. Tuesday, September 28, 1954, 6 a.m. The voters are beginning to be free. They're voting for number 3.
Voters, voters, hear my plea. Here's a tale about 1, 2, 3. Said number 1 to number 2. Let's get together, me and you. Since we're both at the same old tree, let's team up and beat number 3. Side by side, just you and me. We'll fool the voters, yes sirree. Voters, voters, hear my plea. Voters, let us all be free. Let's team up and shake that tree and cast our vote for number 3.
Tuesday, September 28, 1954, 8:30 p.m. The voters are now free. They all voted for number 3. Leonard J. Toups, your next mayor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Don Gatz. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Next Tuesday, November the 9th, is our city election. The polls will open at 6 o'clock in the morning and will close at 8 o'clock in the evening. Make your plans to vote as early as possible during the day. This election has great significance for the future welfare of all of us. It will determine the conditions under which we shall live during the next 4 years. It will decide whether we shall have new thinking in our city plans or whether we shall continue with the old established policies of the olden times in days gone by beyond the memory of most of the voters of our city. We are living in a modern and a scientific age with ever-changing situations, and it is proper and it is good to revalue and reappraise our communal purpose. And it is good and it is proper to revalue and reappraise the manner and the methods of attaining that purpose. The housewives, more or less, take an inventory of the household each day in order to keep all of the members of the family healthy and happy. She has long-range planning to do. She studies the budget to provide clothes, for example, for the children during the changing seasons. She must see that everyone in the family is provided for, and she measures out the benefits to make sure that the distribution of the wages or income is equitable and fair to all the members of the family. This type of planning is done in the home for all of the other needs: food, furniture, amusements, medical attention, school, and church. After all is said and done, a city is merely a large family made up of individual families banded together to render certain services to each family at a lesser cost than each family could provide these services separately. Hence, if inventory taking is sound and good for the family, it is sound, good, wise, and prudent for the city. On Tuesday, November the 9th, this coming Tuesday, after taking inventory for the past 13 weeks, you will choose a plan of operation for your city for the next 4 years. The choice is yours. The final decision is yours. This is your city. The responsibility is yours and yours alone. If this is true, and it is true, why not then in good common sense, with the dignity of free Americans, go to the polls on this Tuesday in solid numbers and take charge of your own city? Why not make your city serve you instead of you serving the city? It is time for a change, so let's make that change. Let's quit dropping a bucket into an empty well because we're only kidding ourselves. Last Sunday, I related to you the fable of the goat and the goat herd because it illustrated a fine moral as follows. Facts and actions speak louder than words. On Tuesday coming, let's present the facts at the polls for the benefit of all of us. The facts, my friends, are our ballots. So go to the polls and vote for your own interests this time and vote to run your own city in your own way. Today, my friends, I want to review the salient and outstanding features of this campaign. On August the 8th, I told you that I entered the race as an independent candidate, and I can assure you that on the eve of this election, I am still the same independent candidate that entered the race 13 weeks ago. I gave you a dictionary definition of independent as follows: not dependent, supported by, or governed by another, having a competency, not subject to bias or influence, free, one who supports measures or men independently of any organized party, unquote. From the start, I made it clear that I was soliciting the vote and the support of every citizen and voter of the city of Thibodaux, regardless of party affiliations. I have no under-table agreement with any candidate. I have no secret backdoor tie-up with any political boss. I am planning my own campaign. I am writing my own speeches. I have formulated my own platform without the aid of a brochure or book. I am in the race to win, and I have taken the time to visit with most of you in order to answer your questions about my plans to operate the city. I made it clear that if you elected me as your mayor, that fact alone would not solve our problems, because the adoption of my platform would depend upon the continued cooperation of all of our citizens after the election. My friends think that I have the disposition and the attitude to serve you. They think that my education, my experience acquired in working for many of our civic organizations, my experience in business, and my experience in politics qualifies me for the office of mayor, which is both a business office and a political office. Webster's dictionary defines politics as follows, I quote, "the science and art of government," unquote. It is the theory or practice of managing public affairs. And Webster's dictionary defines a politician as follows, quote, "one voiced or experienced in the science of government," unquote. The office of mayor is a public office. It is an office of government. Therefore, if that office is to be well run, The mayor should be one voiced or experienced in the science of government. This is cold logic. This is a truth beyond refutation. Yet my opponent stated in the Lafourche comment of August the 12th, 1954, I quote, "I am not a politician, have had no experience as such, and have no ambitions to become a politician," unquote. Let's follow this illogical thinking for just a moment. Suppose, by way of example, you are a housewife and an applicant for cook knocks at your door and says, "Madam, I understand that you need a cook. I want to cook for your family, but I want it distinctly understood that I am not a cook, I have no experience as a cook, and I have no ambition to become a cook. Still, I want to cook for your family." Your answer would be an immediate and positive no. Here we have the case of my opponent coming to the voters of our city and stating, "I want to be mayor. I want an office that requires experience in the science and the art of government, but I want it distinctly understood that I am not experienced in the science and the art of government. I have had no experience in the science and the art of government, and I have no ambitions to become voiced or experienced in the science or art of government. But in spite of that, I want the job that requires knowledge and experience in the science and the art of government." The voters of our city, with their usual good judgment, will give the same answer to my opponent seeking this political office that the housewife gave to the applicant for cook. The office of mayor is a political office. Make no mistake about that. And the person filling that office should be voiced and experienced in the science and the art of government. At various times during this race for mayor, there was some confusion in the minds of the voters. But now, the issues are crystal clear, and only the old political machine is confused and confounded. Ladies and gentlemen, as the campaign nears an end, I would like to review with you the outstanding features of my platform. During the past weeks, I discussed with many of you the wisdom of evaluating the effectiveness of a commissioner form of government as against a councilmanic form of government. It is my humble opinion that the time has come for us to take inventory of the manner in which this city should be run. This subject is often discussed by our citizens on the streets and in their homes, and it is timely, too, in view of our continuing growth. At the present time, the city is run by a commissioner charter which was made effective in 1918, 36 years ago, wherein we are governed by 3 commissioners who are elected at large, that is, by the entire city. Each official is answerable to all of the city voters. Under the councilmanic form of government, the city would be divided into several districts. Each district would elect 1 member to the city council. Each councilman would be answerable to the people in his district. His duties, however, would be twofold. He would serve and be responsible to and for his district, and he would serve and be responsible jointly with all of the other councilmen for the operation of the entire city. This plan, to say the least, assures each district of the city that its voice will be heard in City Hall when improvements and benefits are under consideration. If I am elected, I promise that a complete survey and study of these two forms of government will be made, and that after a thorough explanation in all details is made to the people of our city, I will call a referendum election, the other commissioners concurring, to determine afresh whether we want to continue the present form of government or whether we wish to dedicate ourselves to a councilmanic charter. Now, my friends, don't let anyone tell you that I am forcing anything on you, because I am merely promising to give you an opportunity to consider the proposition again, as was done many years ago, and then go to the polls and vote your own convictions in the matter. My platform provided for new industries. I reviewed in detail the fine points of our community and the drawbacks of our community. The least attractive feature of our city is our power rate. Repeatedly in my talks on Sunday, I have explained my position in detail on this important phase of city government. I called your attention to the fact that our electric rates are a form of taxation. I favor a complete reconsideration and restudy of this phase of our utilities. My thought in this respect is to make our city attractive to new businesses and new industries seeking to locate here. New businesses and new industries naturally bring new personnel to our community. I recognize the fact that these newer citizens bring with them their culture and traditions and customs, which are welcomed influences in a growing community. We welcome the newer citizens in our schools, our churches, and our civic organizations. We want them to register and to vote in our city. We want them to take part in our government. Several times during this election, I publicly recognized the fine work being done by our fire department. It is an accepted fact that the fire department of Thibodaux is one of the most efficient in the entire nation, and probably outranks the fire department of any city the size of Thibodaux. If elected, I promise to give the wholehearted cooperation of my administration in order to continue the development and growth of our fire department. I have assured the employees of our city that if elected, I will personally review the status of every employee for the purpose of improving working conditions and increasing the earning capacities. I realize that the laboring people spend their earnings in providing for their families. And if the working man prospers, then the entire community will prosper. During this campaign, I have taken notice of the fact that my opponent of 8 years ago stated in his platform that he would build a new city incinerator. This has not been done, but I have promised our people that I would make plans immediately after the election for the construction of a city incinerator to properly dispose of the animal matter in our garbage. I mean to safeguard the health of all of our people. Now, my friends, let's hitchhike a ride out to the racetrack with Tonto and the Lone Ranger. Hold your hats. We're off.
It's a beautiful day for the race.
Well, here we are. And it is a beautiful day, too. Last Sunday, we were watching the horse with the long, unusual tandem saddle when the smog from the city dump obscured our vision. The picture is now clear. Pistol Pete is still in the first saddle with his badge shining and the hardware on display to frighten the opposition. The mayor is in the next saddle, but his back is now turned to the chief. This seems to make a fine pair, back to back. The horse has made no progress, but this is reasonable as the jockeys are riding at cross purposes. This is a helter-skelter affair, and chaos seems to prevail in that long tandem saddle. The third jockey is a ghost or phantom rider. I see the gold braid distinctly. I see the brass on his uniform cap, and I see clearly the insignia of stars. This phantom jockey is the general himself, and his name is General Confusion, who seems to be directing the strategy for this political machine in the race. I shall meet you at the finishing post day after tomorrow. In conclusion, my friends, I would like to call your attention to the fact that I have addressed you each Sunday at noon for the past 14 consecutive Sundays, and that I have spelled out my platform in detail for the information of all of our citizens. I have made a sincere effort to discuss the issues in this campaign frankly and honestly for the benefit of our people. I have meticulously avoided making any personal criticism of my opponent. I commented only on the written and the recorded words of my political adversary and on the political connections of my opponent, making it a point to avoid any personal reference. Sunday after Sunday, I have explained my program, which has not been criticized by a single solitary person. My platform, put before you, apparently is beyond criticism, as no one has raised a voice in opposition to it. I have done the best that I could in presenting the issues in this campaign to you. I have spoken honestly, frankly, and without reservations. So, my friends, the problem now is to be resolved by you with the aid of your own good judgment. You, the voters of our city, are the ones who will decide that this government shall be given back to the people. I am confident that you want a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. So go to the polls on this Tuesday, November the 9th, with the firm determination to vote in the best interest of your community, to vote in the best interest of your family, and to vote in the best interest of your children. Be determined that you will not allow yourselves at this late date to be misled by malicious rumors, false propaganda, or last-minute handbills designed to discourage you from voting for the experienced and qualified candidate in this mayor's race. The issues are clear. Nothing new can be added now except for the purpose of confusion. Your right to vote is a sacred right. Use your ballot, therefore, for your own interest. So, rain or shine, please be sure to vote next Tuesday. Make use of this opportunity because opportunities are rare and infrequent, as the poet Ingle expresses in the following words: Master of human destinies am I, fame, love, and fortune on my footsteps wait. Cities and fields I walk, I penetrate deserts and seas remote, and passing by hovel and mart and palace, soon or late I knock unbidden once at every gate. If sleeping, wake. If feasting, rise, before I turn away. It is the hour of fate, and they who follow me reach every state that mortals desire and conquer every foe save death. But those who doubt or hesitate, condemned to failure, penury, and woe, seek me in vain and uselessly implore. I answer not, and I return no more. May I then ask you to vote for me, Leonard J. Toups, number 3 on the voting machine, who has political experience and business experience, the independent candidate in the race for mayor. It is in your hands now, my friends, and may the Lord give you the wisdom to make the proper decision, and may the Lord give you the courage to vote in keeping with that decision. Thank you very much, my friends, for listening.
This is the city, Thibodaux, Louisiana, Tuesday, November 9th, 1954, 6 a.m. The voters are beginning to be free. They're shaking that tree. They're voting for number 3.
Number three, voters all agree. When we vote for number 3, then we will all be free. Shake that tree, let's be free. Vote for number 3. How what surprise the bus will be when we vote for number 3.
Tuesday, November 9th, 1954, 8:30 p.m. The voters are now free. They all voted for number 3. Here are the facts.
Power politics has ended.
Councilmanic form of government.
Reconsideration of electric rates. Industrial development.
A bigger and better Thibodaux.
A new era has begun. Leonard J. Toups, your mayor.
Citizens of Thibodaux, this is Leonard J. Toups, the independent candidate for mayor, speaking to you. Please make your plans to vote on this Tuesday, November the 9th. At this late date, do not allow yourselves to be misled by malicious rumors, false propaganda, or last-minute handbills designed to discourage you from voting for the experienced and qualified candidate in this race. The issues are very clear. Nothing new can be added now, except for the purpose of confusion. Your right to vote is a sacred right. Use your ballot then for your own interest. And remember, rain or shine, vote next Tuesday.
This is the city, Thibodaux, Louisiana, Tuesday, November 9th, 1954, 6 a.m. The voters are beginning to be free. They're shaking that tree. They're voting for number 3.
Vote for number 3.
To feel free,
Vote for number 3.
let's all agree.
Then we'll shake that tree and all those Leonard Toups for mayor.
Tuesday, November 9th, 1954, 8:30 p.m. The voters are now free. They all voted for number 3. Here are the facts.
Power politics has ended.
Councilmanic form of government.
Reconsideration of the electric rates.
Industrial development.
A bigger and better Thibodaux.
A new era has begun.
Leonard J. Toups, your mayor.
Citizens of Thibodaux, this is Leonard J. Toups, the independent candidate for mayor, speaking to you. Please make your plans to vote on this Tuesday, November the 9th. At this late date, do not allow yourselves to be misled by malicious rumors, false propaganda, or last-minute handbills designed to discourage you from voting for the experienced and qualified candidate in this race for mayor. The issues are very clear. Nothing new can be added now except for the purpose of confusion. Your right to vote is a sacred right. So use your ballot for your own interest. Rain or shine, let's vote next Tuesday.
This is the city, Thibodaux, Louisiana, Tuesday, November 9th, 1954, 6 a.m. The voters are beginning to be free. They're shaking that tree. They're voting for number 3.
Number three, voters all agree. When we vote for number 3, then we will all be free. Take that tree, let's be free, vote for number 3. How surprised the boss will be when we vote for number 3.
Tuesday, November 9th, 1954, 8:30 p.m. The voters are now free. They all voted for number 3. Here are the facts.
Power politics has ended.
Councilmanic form of government.
Reconsideration of electric rates. Industrial development.
A bigger and better Thibodaux.
A new era has begun. Leonard J. Toups, your mayor.
I am making a copy of the speeches and the music that we played in the campaign of 1954. And I thought Leroy and members of his orchestra, the sweet little girls that helped me to be elected mayor in 1954, would appreciate hearing again how we put this little program together. I hope that Leroy and the girls that helped us in this campaign are very happy and are successful in their undertakings that they are living at the present time. So here we go. This is how we made the recordings in 1954.
I think that's close a little bit closer.
Number three, voters all agree. When we vote for number 3, then we will all be free. Shake that tree, let's be free.
I keep remembering,
The voters will begin.
Number three, voters all agree. When we vote for number 3, then we will all be free. Shake that tree, let's be free, vote for number 3. How surprised the boss will be when we vote for number 3.
If we vote for number 3.
Number three, voters all agree. When we vote for number 3, then we will all be free. Shake that tree, let's be free, vote for number 3. How surprised the boss will be when we vote for number 3.
This is the city, Thibodaux, Louisiana, Tuesday, November 9th, 6:30 a.m. The voters will begin.
Number three, voters all agree. When we vote for number 3, then we will all be free. Shake that tree, let's be free, vote for number 3. How surprised the boss will be when you vote for number 3. Number three, voters all agree. When we vote for number 3, then we will all be free. Shake let's be free, vote for number 3. How surprised the boss will be when we vote for number 3.
Era has begun. A bigger and better Thibodaux.
Number 3, voters all agree. When we vote for number 3, then we will all be free. Shake that tree, let's be free, vote for number 3. How surprised the boss will be when we vote for number 3.
They're voting for number 3.
That was the first test here of Jingle Bells, first trial run of Jingle Bells, November 2nd, 54.
Be free, vote for number 3. To look free.